week against Tampa Bay. The Vikings trailed at halftime 10-0. Kramer passed for 201 yards in the second half. They pulled it out and they won it 21-10. He's got to do the same thing again. This time it's Ahmad Rashad with Matthews and Burrell for the Cleveland Browns. 12-yard line, first down.
You're absolutely right about getting things going for the Minnesota Vikings. 98 yards to go, which is a tall duty, a tall task for the Minnesota Vikings to do. They're going to have to do it through the air.
Ahmad Rashad, who just caught the pass when we were talking to him before the ball game, wanted us to be sure to say hello to his dad in the hospital in Tacoma. As you know, in the automobile accident, along with his sister and niece who are out of the hospital, wishes his dad well. And boy, Ahmad is playing well today, I'll tell you that. Brown, the ball carrier, with Marshall Harris and Henry Bradley making the stop. 16-yard line, gain of 4. It'll be second down and 6.
The linebacking core of the Cleveland Browns has really been doing a fine job. Number 59 is Charlie Hall, the outside left linebacker. He's been playing very well. And then Ricky Young just goes right by him. Hall makes a hit on the running back, doesn't bring him down, but definitely slows him up. His teammates came along and finished off the job. Charlie Hall has been having a fine year this year for the Cleveland Browns. Here it is. Kansas City is leading Pittsburgh 10-7 in the third quarter. It is snowing very hard in Pittsburgh. The field is covered with ice.
And remember, both the Chiefs and the Steelers still have a long shot to make the playoffs. Sammy White pulls it in. 40-yard line. 24 yards. Ron Bolton makes the tackle, and the Vikings have an offense moving.
We said they had to do it through the air, and that was really an excellent throw by Tommy Kramer, faking the ball on a play-action pass. Has good protection, enabling White to move his way across the middle. Watch this throw, because Bolton is all over it. Perfect throw. White comes up with a catch. Bolton does trip him up, but it's a 24-yard gain for Minnesota. And remember, they started on the 2-yard line.
Sammy White and Ahmad Rashad are the wide receivers. Joe Senser now the tight end. He and Bob Cutter alternating. Ricky Young is the ball carrier. Ted Brown is the other running back. Dick Ambrose makes the tackle. That offensive line has Riley, Boyd, Swilly, Hamilton, and Yeri. The defense showing now the 3-4 with Harris, Bradley, and Alzado. The linebackers are Hall, Cower, Ambrose, and Matthews. In the secondary, Bolton, Scott, Darden, and Burrell.
Cleveland Browns defensively really have done an outstanding job. I know I saw them in preseason, and they had a lot of problems switching from the 4-3 defense to the 3-4 defense. But defensively, they've really done an outstanding job.
2nd and 7. Kramer goes deep. First down. Fumble. At the end of the play, they say no. They will rule it, I believe, as an incomplete pass. Rashad never had possession. Burrell is the man who jarred the ball out of his hand. They'll bring it back.
Kramer to Rashad. The ball is there. Rashad is there. And he did not have complete possession of the football, and that is what you have to have. And for Rashad, it's a good thing he didn't, because he did fumble. It would have been Cleveland's ball.
Good call by the official. And we point that out because they've had a rocky season this year, but that was an excellent call. LeCount is in as a wide receiver. It's 3rd down and 7 from the shotgun. It is high, but it is pulled down by Ricky Young, and it's a first down. 44-yard line of Cleveland. 14 yards.
They try to put some heat on Kramer by blitzing a linebacker. That last time, the linebacker was Clay Matthews, 57. You see right here. He's in a 2-point position, but he's going after the quarterback. But the lineman is there to greet him. Eventually gets to Kramer, as you see right there, but Kramer had enough time to get the football off. This is one of the reasons the shotgun, I think, is good in a passing situation, because he's already set up, and he has a little extra time to survey the defense to see what defensively they're going to do as far as their coverage is concerned.
Kramer has completed 22 of 28, and he completes one more. He's now over the 200-yard mark. Once again, it is Ahmad Rashad with Clinton Burrell there for the defense. It's a first down at the 31, a gain of 13.
Minnesota, as we said, they're a team that'll go coasting along, all of a sudden they explode, and they're doing it right now, starting on the 2-yard line on the arm of this young man, Tommy Kramer. The ball is high. It sails a little bit on him. But Rashad is an excellent receiver. Concentration personified. He comes up with another big catch for the Minnesota Vikings. Another first down. 31-yard line.
And for Rashad, that is his 6th reception for 65 yards. 9:05 left to go in the third. Pressure screen. Senser, the tight end, has it. First down. He can score. Does he go in? Yes, he does. From 31 yards out. Ricky Young with the block. And for Joe Senser, that is his 5th touchdown of the year. That was a 98-yard drive in 8 plays.
We've seen that screen a couple of times in this ball game. Faking, rolling one way, going back in the other direction. And here it is right here. Faking to the right, to the backs, setting up to the right, now coming around. He's getting pressure from Alzado, but he gets the ball to the big tight end. There's some excellent blocking here by Minnesota. You didn't see a block there, but Ricky Young, 34, made an excellent block, and that block enabled Senser to get into the end zone with a touchdown.
Now remember, on the second touchdown of the Browns, that Cockroft missed the extra point. All important extra point attempt now for Rick Danmeier, who has missed only one this year. No good. He misses it.
Hit the upright. Bounced out of there. That was I have to tell you, that's a big 1 point, considering the fact that Cleveland missed an extra point. That was a great drive by Minnesota, though. They took it 98 yards for a touchdown.
Let's go back to the touchdown that covered 31 yards.
Here it is. Alzado putting the heat on. The ball does get to Joe Senser, number 81, the tight end. Good blocking by Minnesota. Excellent block right there by Brett Boyd, 62. It's into the end zone for a big, important score for Minnesota.
The margin has been cut to 7 points.
Yes, honey, I'll have a good dinner. Gotta go.
Tough case, huh?
Tough ain't the word.
Perez is back from Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'm starving.
Why Kentucky Fried Chicken?
It's a hard case. My men deserve a fresh hot meal.
Great chicken.
Great price.
Anything else?
His wife will kill him if he doesn't eat right.
It's so nice, nice to feel so good about a meal, so good about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
America's not going to be pushed around anymore.
New front-wheel drive Dodge Aries K challenges BMW to a test of handling on a slippery track covered with oil and water. BMW says it's the ultimate driving machine, but in 14 out of 16 tries, it spins out. Aries, same speed, same test driver, outhandles BMW every time. Aries, America's highest mileage 6-passenger car. At your Dodge Ram dealer.
Now Dodge fights high interest rates with 6% off all new 81 cars. Get $325 to $1,000 direct.
This is Bryant Gumbel in New York at Schaefer Stadium in Foxborough. The Patriots have scored again in their game against the Bills. Matt Cavanaugh from 13 yards out to Andy Johnson in the arms of Isaiah Robertson, but rolling in for the touch. The Pats now lead 21-0 in the third. Let's go back to Charlie and Lenny.
Thank you, Brian. An upset in the making there. Danmeier kicking off to either Keith Wright or Dino Hall. It'll be Dino Hall at the 15-yard line. Dino to the 25, 27. Has 12 yards on the return, and Cleveland will move on offense.
We're talking about playoff possibilities. You just mentioned the 20 Bryant did, the 21-0 New England ahead of Buffalo. It's going to throw that wild card situation up in the air in that division also.
It certainly does.
Kansas City is leading Pittsburgh.
They are still long shot possibility. Steelers still a possibility. Houston, of course, battling with Cleveland for the lead in the AFC Central. On the 27-yard line, their own territory. Sipe, pass, it's complete. Greg Pruitt. 31-yard line has 4 yards. Matt Blair with a tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 6. And it was Mike Mullaney that was putting the pressure on.
Yes, it was. And Sipe had no choice but to get rid of that ball in a hurry. Number 77, Mark Mullaney, took an inside rush. It was in hot pursuit of number 17, Brian Sipe.
You were talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. What about this? It is now Kansas City 13 and Pittsburgh 7. The Steelers lose, and they're out of the playoff picture. 7 men in the secondary for the Vikings. 2nd down and 6.
You saw Brian Sipe yelling. He may be checking off. This crowd is coming alive right now. It's tough for the receivers to hear the cadence.
And the flag is down. Pass to Pruitt is incomplete. But the flag was dropped where the blocking for Brian Sipe was taking place and the holding to give him a little more time.
Now,
they caught it.
What about old Mo?
Old momentum?
Yes, he seems to be turning around this second half. Minnesota Vikings, they are that type of a team that'll go along, and they don't get out of a ball game. They didn't play that well in the first half, but they weren't out of the football game. 98-yard scoring drive. They're very much in it right now.
Offense, number 73.
Holding on Doug Deacon. By the way, in the 35-year history of the Browns, he is only the 3rd offensive left tackle. Lou Groza and Dick Shafrat preceded him. And well, Deacon has been there for 10 years. Second down and 16.
Could be intercepted.
You are right. It should have been intercepted by Tommy Hannon, but he dropped it. Logan was the intended receiver. Hannon had perfect coverage.
Yes, but Logan did a good thing. He made sure that Hannon didn't come up with the football. Sipe is throwing it. He's throwing it right in the direction of the safety man, number 45, Hannon.
And notice right there, stop it, left hand of Tommy Hannon. He is playing with a cast. He has a broken bone in that left hand.
Well, he's got gloves on both hands, Charlie. It's hard to see.
But there's a cast under one of them. Sipe with time, goes deep. Defender fell down. Ricky Feature, the captain of the specialty team, out of bounds at the 48-yard line of Minnesota. First down.
He was all alone out there.
One of the defenders fell. I believe it was John Turner that slipped. And then Bobby Bryant came over.
Bobby Bryant is still arguing with the officials over there. See, right there, he fell down, leaving Feature all alone on the sideline. Well, that was a big first down for the Cleveland Browns.
A gain of 29 yards for Ricky Feature. That is only his 8th reception of the season. Logan has come in and Feature comes out.
Look at here, Cincinnati leading Chicago 14-0 in the second period. Remember, Chicago put 61 points on the board against Green Bay last week.
And also remember that Cleveland plays at Cincinnati next week. Now, file this away. If Cleveland loses today, they can still win the Central Division, regardless of what Houston does, if they defeat Cincinnati at Cincinnati next week. Pass is complete far side to Mike Pruitt, and he slips at the 43-yard line. It'll go for 5, 2nd and 5. John Turner was there for the Vikings.
Yeah, John Turner looked like he hurt himself on that play. He's leaving the ball game right now, being replaced by 43, Nate Wright. And he took a pretty good shot, but he slipped as he was going to make the tackle on Mike Pruitt. Might have hurt his shoulder.
Second down and 5. How about that? And Cleveland is a throwing ball club. Greg Pruitt out of bounds, and he's got the first down. Being chased by Kurt Knopf and Matt Blair.
Pruitt still has that quickness, doesn't he?
And he's getting it back. You know, he had the leg operation After about 9 or 10 games last week, I think it's more confidence than anything else.
Well, I think the last couple of years he's been handicapped because of various injuries. And the beginning of the year he was unable to play, but he's playing now and playing very, very well.
He comes out. Cleo Miller comes in. First down, 37-yard line. Browns out in front, 13-6. As the Vikings on their opening drive of the second half with 98 yards. Here's Mike Pruitt. First down. 21-yard line, has 16. Tommy Hannon with the tackle.
Big hole on that play by the offensive line of the Cleveland Browns, giving the ball to number 43, Mike Pruitt. As you can see the blocking up front, Joe DeLamiere doing a good job. Dom DeLeon doing a good job. Into the secondary, and good hard running, a 16-yard gain for Mike Pruitt. You can see 34 yards on the day.
Dave Roller replacing Doug Sutherland at defensive tackle. First down, Viking 21-yard line. Just over 6 minutes left to go. We're in the third. Into the end zone. It is incomplete. Vikings claiming that they have the interception. Ozzie Newsome, the intended receiver. Mark Mullaney was putting the pressure on.
Taking a look right now, he's intended for Newsome. 45 is the safety man. And it looks like he's in, Charlie, unless he doesn't have possession of the football. Both feet are in. Take a look right here.
But he has to have possession.
That is
complete control to do any act ordinary to the game of football. Boy, that's a close call. Close call. Sipe now has completed 17 of 26. Pruitt, right side, out of bounds. Now let's go back to that possible interception. Another angle.
45 is Tommy Hannon, the safety man. Intended for 82, Newsome. Ball is popped around.
No. Good call by the official.
All right, that's 2 in a row they've done, Charlie. Yes,
his
sir.
shoulder touched the ground out of bounds before possession.
He did not have possession.
Boy.
That is the name of the game right there. Did not have possession right there. But I'm sure Tommy Hannon is going to argue that point, and he did.
Ben Dreiscrew is having a good afternoon, as is our director, John Gonzalez. Way to go, John. Oh, Gonzo is doing the magic. He'll be at the Orange Bowl, by the way, along with our producer, Mike Weiss. Third down.
Blitz is on.
Pass is dropped. Calvin Hill dropped it. It was third down and 4.
He was open. The pass was thrown very low and behind him. The blitz was on, meant man-to-man coverage out in the flat on Calvin Hill. Matt Blair, 59, was covering him, but the ball was thrown low and behind Calvin Hill. That's one of the problems of not playing, because you get cold. Your hands are cold, as you can see on the sidelines by Calvin Hill. You can see right here. Low, but that pass for Calvin Hill should have been caught.
32-yard field goal attempt by Cockroft. He's been in a slump. He's only hit 3 of his last 9, and he missed an extra point. Those are just statistics. He hits from 32 yards away. It is now Cleveland 16, and Minnesota 6. Will be back with the kickoff in a moment.
I used to run through airports. Now I fly through them. With new Hertz #1 Express service, I fly non-stop from my plane to my car without stopping at the counter. If you ask for #1 Express when you make your reservation, your Ford or other fine car and contract will be waiting at the #1 Express booth. Once again, Hertz puts you in the driver's seat faster than anybody else.
Business has discovered a whole new problem.
Oh, my.
The flood of information.
Help.
How do you use information instead of being inundated by it? You get the Xerox 860 Information Processor. It helps you manage words and numbers. And if you plug it into the Xerox information outlet, the 860 can share huge amounts of information with other office machines through the Ethernet network, giving every organization what it needs most: better organization.
This is Brian Gumble in New York at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. The Chiefs are enjoying a 13-point third quarter. Nick Lowry making good on a field goal from 50 yards out. The Chiefs are up 16-7. If the Steelers lose, they're mathematically eliminated in the playoff picture. Let's go back to Minnesota and Charlie Jones.
Thank you, Brian. And like Bum Phillips, it won't seem like the playoffs if the Steelers aren't in it.
How are they going to kick the door down? They're not even behind.
They're not on the other side. Cockroft kicking off. Taken by one of the upbacks. That's Bob Brewer, who's a tight end.
Looked like he didn't know what to do with the ball once he caught it.
The ball was a wounded duck on the kickoff. It was just, you know, Bud Grant took a second look. He's liable to take a shotgun out and fire at it. Carl Weathers made the tackle. All right, Minnesota has the ball just outside their own 31-yard line. So officially, it's marked as the 32, and they have it a first down.
Last time they had the football, they went 98 yards for a score.
And 81 yards of the 98 were through the air.
They're going to put it in the air again, Charlie.
Kramer scrambles. Good scrambler. Now head for the sideline. That's it. Get out. Get all you can and get out.
He motioned with his arm a couple times and froze those linebackers. He didn't have anybody open. He was looking for Bob Tucker, the tight end, out there near the sideline, but he was well covered. Good play by Tommy Kramer.
And I tell you, Charlie Hall and Ron Bolton were looking for him on his sideline, too.
Taking a look at Tommy Kramer, number 9. Now, he wants to go right now. Nobody's open. He's going to make a move right there. That froze the linebacker. Now he's going to get what he can get and get out. But he just should learn to keep on moving. Even though you hit that white line, that doesn't mean the defensive men are going to stop.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Oliver Davis has replaced Burrell at defensive right corner for the Browns. Ted Brown, he's around the corner, has the first down. And he goes out at the 50-yard line. 13 yards, first down with Wes Hamilton as the convoy. Clarence Scott was chasing him.
You know, when a quarterback hands off, his job isn't over because he has to carry out fakes. When you rely on play action passes, now he gives the ball, now he continues. See, like he has the ball, he wants to hold the linebacker and the defensive end on that side so they don't get involved in the pursuit and the tackle.
And you just need to hold it for one step.
That's right, just to get their attention. Now, after you do that, you take a look and see where they are. If they don't respect that fake, then later on,
little bootleg, right?
That's what Brian Sipe scored on.
Kramer has pressure throws, and the pass is complete. A gain of 5 to the 45. Going again to Ricky Young out of the backfield with Oliver Davis making the tackle. Robert L. Jackson was putting the pressure on as we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WKYC TV, Cleveland television, home of the Browns.
This is Charlie Jones, Lynn Dawson with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Cleveland 16, Minnesota 6. The margin is 10. And remember, the winner of this game will be in the playoffs. Ted Brown. He'll get 2, maybe 3 yards, and that'll be all as Clay Matthews was there.
Matthews on the tackle.
All right, that time he was faking, and this was a screen pass. Kramer going back, he's getting set. He never really gets set up. But you see that Jackson is after him. He's watching the play, and he's not, I don't know, he's not too happy with the outcome. But they're in a situation now, 3rd and 3, where they need to pick up a first down.
Ted Brown goes out, and he is limping. The rookie, Doug Pascal, replaces him as a running back. 3rd and 3. 4 receivers in the pattern. It's there. First down. 31-yard line. Sammy White. Ron Bolton and Oliver Davis had the coverage, but Sammy White was alone.
He was all alone. You know, there's been a lot of slipping out there on the field this afternoon by both teams. I like the composure of Tommy Kramer. I haven't seen him perform so far this year, and he is cool back there. He's behind. He knows he has to throw the football, but he's not getting rattled.
He played his collegiate ball at Rice. He's in his 4th year, #1 draft choice in '77, but only his 2nd year as a starter. 56% passer coming into the game. Ricky Young, 25-yard line, a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd down 4. Dick Ambrose makes the tackle.
He had both Rashad on that side and Young, and what he did, he had Rashad going to the sideline, Young hooking up, and he just read the defense. Whichever way they went, he went the opposite way. They were covering Rashad, so he went to that man, number 34, Ricky Young.
And for Ricky Young, his 9th reception for 72 yards. A couple of defensive changes now. Bill Cower in at linebacker. Elvis Franks in at defensive end as Jackson Harris come out. 2nd and 4, 2:40, time remaining, 3rd quarter. Vikings trail by 10. Into the corner, incomplete, flag is down. Oliver Davis had the coverage, and we could have face guarded.
You know, I said earlier they've been hitting Rashad on those out patterns and in close. He was going to pump and go deep. That's what he did. He pumped right there, told him to go deep, and he's going deep to Ahmad Rashad. And hits Oliver Davis right in the back.
Defensive penalty. It's an automatic 1st down. They'll mark it at the 20. Let's listen.
Illegal contact, number 21. That's a 5-yard penalty and a 1st down.
Illegal contact. It is not face guard.
Well, what happened was he ran that out move and he started up, and Oliver Davis knew he was going to be beaten, so he grabbed it, which was a good move on his part. Otherwise, it's 6 points for Minnesota.
Saves a touchdown.
That's right. Take the 5 yards.
Oliver Davis has replaced Burrell at right corner. Ted Brown is back in. Remember a moment ago, he went limping off the field. 20-yard line of the Browns. Fake of the draw. A little play action. Over the middle. Joe Senser, the tight end, has it at the 10-yard line. Clarence Scott pulls him down.
Clarence Scott was all over him, but that was an excellent throw by Tommy Kramer going to his big tight end. Number 81 is Joe Senser. Ground level, looking right there. Look at that throw. Right where it's supposed to be, right on the numbers. A fine reception and a 1st down for the Minnesota.
No, they're going to say 2nd and about a foot.
That's even better.
Senser going out, 5 receptions, 67 yards. He, by the way, was an outstanding college basketball center. His field goal percentage was almost 70%, which broke Lou Alcindor, now Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record at UCLA in the collegiate rank. 1st down, Ricky Young, a couple of yards. Now go back to what you said. 2nd and a foot was better than a 1st down.
Well, that's right. They got 2 downs, and they could pick up perhaps, 4 or 5 or 6 yards on that 2nd down situation. They had a free, I want to say, they had a free down. They could do whatever they want.
Right.
They could throw a play action pass or try to get into the end zone in a hurry, knowing that Cleveland is going to be getting in a short yardage situation.
So it is 1st and goal just outside the 8, rather than, in reality, what would have been 1st and goal at the 10. So what you're talking about, they now have a 2-yard advantage. Brown is the remaining back. And he carries, going inside to the 6-yard line. Charlie Hall with a tackle. It'll be 2nd down and goal to go. Now, remember, the Vikings trail by 10. So right now, if you want to consider a tie and possible overtime, they need a touchdown and a field goal. So they could, if they do not go in, and the next 2, we'll take the field goal right here.
Yes, I would say that Bud Grant would do that.
2nd down and goal.
Cower comes in. Jackson goes down in the defense. 2nd down, goal to go. 6-yard line. Kramer's pass is knocked down. Good defensive play. Was that Elvis Franks, number 94, that got it? We're not sure. Maybe we can pick it up on the replay, but
he was looking to go to Ahmad Rashad, but he was well covered on the play. Plenty of time. That ball should have been gone if he were open.
Oops. 94, that is Elvis Franks, the man we were talking about. The rookie from Morgan State.
Here we're taking another look. Let's make it, is that 94?
Let's make it 91, Henry Bradley.
Right.
6-yard line, 3rd down, goal to go. It's there. No! Look, cannot hold on to it. I thought he had it. He was open by a step. The pass was high, and a flag is dropped on the play. Now, that was 3rd down, remember.
Remember, we were talking about possession of the football when the defensive safety man, Tommy Hannon, thought that he had it in the end zone. There was another situation right there. I don't know what the penalty is. We'll find out in just a minute.
And as soon as we know, we'll let you know. In fact, we'll all listen to Ben Drive. All right, now Ben's explained it to both teams. Here we go.
No penalty. No penalty.
Thank you, Ben.
All right, here's the last play. Tommy Kramer going to number 80, Terry LeCount. The ball is high. He has it in his hands. He is hit, and he was stripped of the ball by Oliver Davis, number 21. I think once again, Charles, we're going to have to say an excellent call by the officials.
Yes, they really have had a good day. Rick Danmeier is in. 14-yard line. An attempt at 24 yards. He is 0 for 2. Nice snap. It is good from 24 yards away. So the Vikings pull within 7 with 10 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll be back.
We're Exxon. We're Jim Sessom, finding better ways to get electricity from sunlight. We're John Willis at a promising oil find in Alaska. We're Dr. John Sinfeld, whose work on new catalysts won him the National Medal of Science. We're Illinois coal miners providing fuel for Midwest power plants. We're Cindy Tate, helping bring a $350 million oil platform into production. We're more than 100,000 people working on energy. We're Exxon.
Gordy, who? You switched to natural light.
Sure, natural light tastes better to me. That's why I switched.
And it's all natural ingredients. Tell me, Gordy, now that you've retired, life's a little more peaceful, huh?
Much more.
2 natural lights, please.
Give me a check.
Check.
Natural light. Taste is why you'll switch.
I'm learning to take it easy.
Him too.
Check.
This is Brian Gumble in New York. At Soldier Field in Chicago, the Bears are on the board. Lenny Walderscheid stripping Jack Thompson. Alan Page recovers for a Bear touchdown, but Cincy leads Chicago 14-7 in the 2nd. Meanwhile, at Three Rivers in Pittsburgh, the Steelers are clawing back. Terry Bradshaw, 13-yard touchdown pass to Theo Bell. Chiefs still lead 16-14. It's in the 4th. Let's go back to Bloomington.
Thank you, Brian. And here it is. The Vikings clawing back. They are within 7. Danmeier kicking off. Keith Wright from the 18-yard line. Flag is down. He goes to the 30, and it'll be 12 yards on the return. The penalty, though, will take a lot of it back. Keith Nord made the tackle. With the penalty flag, that stops the clock with 2 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter, so we'll have 1 play. We'll then go away to commercial, and we'll come back with the 4th quarter. And it is still, I hate to say it, it's a cliche, but it is anybody's ball game.
Oh, definitely so. Minnesota, the last 2 times they had the football, they scored.
Holding number 53 on the run back. 53.
Holding on Bill Cowher. Brian Sipe on the year now has 3,792 yards. His personal high was a year ago, and that was just 1 yard more.
Ryan's doing good, isn't he?
He may do it right here. He likes to throw on 1st down at the Browns 17-yard line with Mike Pruitt and Cleo Miller in the backfield. But that is a running backfield with Mike Pruitt and Cleo Miller. Mike Pruitt. 22-yard line, a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5. That is the end of the 3rd quarter. Cleveland 16, Vikings 9. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Tuesday, it's the Bob Hope Christmas Special with Lonnie Anderson, Larry Gatlin, the AP College All-Americans, and Loretta Swit. Followed by the Dean Martin Christmas Special starring Eric Estrada, Andy Gibb, and Beverly Sills. Then it's the Steve Allen Comedy Hour with Larry Wilcox, Anthony Newley, and Steve Lawrence. It's a night of comedy Tuesday on NBC.
Do you believe?
Yes, I believe.
In Genesee.
In Genesee.
Oh, it's mighty fine to be back in Genesee country, where folks all love that good old bluegrass sound. And the taste of Genesee is just like country harmony. It never, never, ever lets you down. So pass the Jimmy round. Do you believe?
Yes, I believe.
In Genesee.
In Genesee.
Yes, I believe in Genesee.
Hey, George, who are you talking to?
Calling sports phone.
Sports phone? What's that? It's that sports number you dial anytime you want up to the minute sports news.
Oh, yeah? What do they say?
3 and 8 won the daily double.
Hey, but what about...
Tom leads the Open by 2 strokes.
But what I want to know is the...
Joe just hit one out of the park!
Yeah!
The world of sports. Sports phone. Dial 1-976-1313 for up-to-the-minute sports 24 hours a day. That's 1-976-1313.
Catch all the weekend sports action tonight at 11.
This is Charlie Jones, Lynn Dawson. We've got 3 in the books and 1 to go.
Yes, sir. Cleveland Browns, they need to get something moving right here because they have not been able to stop the Minnesota Vikings the last 2 times that Minnesota's had the ball.
2nd and 5 at their own 22-yard line. Mike Pruitt. He will get a yard, whether he'll get 4 yards to the 26. So it'll be 3rd down and still that yard to go as Mulaney makes the tackle.
Well, you take a look on the sidelines, and that's what the coaching staff will do over there, talking to the defensive unit of the Cleveland Browns, telling them some adjustments to make when they get back in the ball game.
Did you notice something? I believe that our cameraman said, you know, would you turn around and show it again? Assistant coach said, no. You noticed also the word Mike on it.
Mike means the middle linebacker.
3rd down and 1. If the Vikings hold, of course, they'll come up with the football following the kick. But it is Cleo Miller for the Browns. 1st down at the 29-yard line. 3 tough yards for Cleo. Tommy Hannon makes the tackle.
You know, the Cleveland Browns are known for passing, but Mike Pruitt now has about 938 yards rushing on the season, so he could go over the 1,000-yard mark. That's not in this ball game, but they have 1 remaining with Cincinnati.
It'll be a 1st down at the 29-yard line. The Browns in their own territory. Just over 13 and a half left to go. They lead by 7. They, of course, want the drive to continue. They also want to use up the clock. Mike Pruitt, 6 yards to the 35-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 4. The cheerleaders of the Vikings, and what's this?
They have
nice legs, but they got mucklucks on.
They got what?
Muckalucks. No shoes. Yes.
They're probably the toughest people out here. They may have that on their feet. But the rest of the body gets cold too.
You bet.
You notice the Cleveland Browns, I'm sure that what they did on offensively, they said, hey, they're moving that ball on our defense, so we better go out and establish something and keep our defense on the sideline for a while. I think that's why they're running with the football right now.
The temperature, by the way, is 21 degrees, but there has been no wind today. Cleo Miller. He will be close to the 1st down.
Miller, the ball carrier.
Now, as we check out the 1st down, let's check out the score.
All right, 24-2 in the 4th quarter, New England over Buffalo in a very important game.
That's the Cleveland 1st down at their 40.
Kansas City still leading Pittsburgh 16-14, 4th quarter.
Another very important game for both of them. They're both in the running.
That's right.
The loser of that game will be eliminated from any kind of possibility. But in reality, they both need a lot of help from a lot of winning teams that have to lose for them to qualify. 40-yard line, it was the 1st down. Ozzie Newsome moves outside as a wide receiver. Slot left. Tight pass is low to Newsome. So it will be 2nd down and 10. Matt Blair was there for the defense.
He was going to go to his big tight end, Ozzie Newsome. You take a look at 59 is Matt Blair, the linebacker, who's an outstanding linebacker. And the reason that ball was thrown behind him is because had he not thrown it behind him, number 59, Matt Blair, was in excellent position right here. He reached past. He's getting his drop going at the right angle. He picks up that receiver. He was trying to run a slide-in pattern. Actually, for Brian Sipe, that was a good pass because had he thrown it right at Newsome, Blair was in position to intercept.
Greg Pruitt is back in. It is 2nd down and 10.
Oh, has he got time to throw?
Goes to Mike Pruitt, and he misses it. Sipe really threw a bad pass with that much time.
He had a lot of time back there. That was not his primary receiver. As you take a look right now, that offensive line's doing a great job of protecting Sipe. Look at him. He's standing back there. Eventually, yes, get rid of the football, and he's going out here to Pruitt, but it's way off its mark.
It is 3rd down and 10. So if the Vikings hold here, we have 11:50 left to go. And the Browns kick. Minnesota could easily have the ball around their own 30-35-yard line. Calvin Hill in that offensive set. He's there as a receiver. He is 33 years of age in his 11th year. #1 draft choice from Dallas. And the pass is complete for a 1st down.
Ozzie Newsome.
You're right. I wanted to wait.
Number 82, the tight end. Sipe was following him all the way. That was his primary receiver. And here we have him isolated. 82. He's being guarded by John Turner, number 27, the defensive back, man for man. You see right there, he makes the stop and comes back in the opposite direction. And Sipe's timing was excellent. He had the ball there. Turner was just a step away, but that's all that was necessary for the completion.
And why did I spend all that time watching what Calvin Hill was doing?
They're tricking him. He's a decoy.
47-yard line, 1st down, Viking territory. 11 minutes left to go. Cleo Miller, and he is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Leading the defense was James White, the defensive left tackle. What are the New York Jets doing today?
Jets are leading New Orleans 20-14 in the 4th period.
And what are the Saints doing?
They same thing they've been doing every week.
Be 0-15 if they don't look out. However, they really have played better the last couple.
I've been on a couple of teams, teams have had losing seasons, but that has to be murder for a player.
Oh. Gain of a yard, 2nd and 9. I'll just casually mention it this time. Calvin Hill is in the backfield. Sipe to throw. Calvin Hill open over the middle. 1st down at the 35-yard line. Gain of 11. Nord and Brune with the tackle.
You mentioned that number 35, Calvin Hill, was in the game. They don't go to him all of the time, Charlie, but they went to him that time. They had Ozzie Newsome clearing out the area, and they had Ozzie Newsome coming into the middle. See the offensive line protecting for Sipe. Blair was blitzing on the play, but it was an excellent throw to Calvin Hill. Another big 1st down for the Cleveland Browns.
And for Calvin, that is his 3rd reception. He has total 44 yards, and he has a touchdown, his 6th of the year. It's at the 35-yard line. 9.5 minutes now left. Sipe goes deep. Reggie Rucker in zone. Incomplete. John Turner had the coverage on Reggie Rucker.
That was one of those plays kind of like Dave Logan. You remember that in the 1st half where he came up with it? It was underthrown somewhat. So was that play. Rucker was looking at it all the way. Turner was the man that was defending against this long bomb. See Rucker following it all the way. He sees it. The defensive man does not. And Turner did a good job of stripping him of the football.
What was the tight end doing?
Well, they were going deep. 82 Newsome is staying in the block, but he didn't do a very good job of it. Mulaney went right by him.
2nd and 10. Keith Wright is in as a wide receiver. Greg Pruitt.
Good move. Oh, that looked like face mask. Yes.
Fighting his way in the face mask could well add some yardage.
They had 3 flags were thrown. There were 3 officials that saw that play. Yeah, Pruitt was going in one direction. All of a sudden, he stopped and was going in the other direction because somebody grabbed a hold of the face mask. which means an automatic first down. Here it is, number 34, Greg Pruitt. He's hit. He avoids that tackle. Right there, right there. 43 is Nate Wright. Got a hold of the face mask.
Now it is either a 5 or a 15. It's a 5-yard if you grab it. It's 15 if you jerk it. He grabbed it. It's 5, first down.
Personal foul, face mask, number 43. That's a 5-yard penalty and a first down.
I like the way Ben, you know, there's no doubt about it. He tells you, doesn't he?
He did.
Good referee.
He did at that.
Yes. Mike Pruitt and Cleo Miller are now the running backs, 22-yard line. Dave Logan is back in as a wide receiver. Now 9 minutes and 16 seconds.
A good drive for the Cleveland Browns. Really is. They're converting on third down on this particular drive. Sipe is doing a great job.
Mike Pruitt.
Wow, did he bust through there?
Oh, he'll have the first down. Let's see where they mark it. Fred McNeil makes the tackle.
What about the Steelers? They aren't going down easily. It's 21-16. Pittsburgh is now in front. Rocky Blyer, an 11-yard run, put the Steelers in front of Kansas City in the fourth quarter, 21-16.
Change coming out for the measurement.
Mike Pruitt really flew through that hole that time.
And he's from your alma mater.
That's right. Purdue University.
12 carries, 61 yards for Mike.
They're going to try to get him that 1,000 yards.
Well, let's see, what does he need? 895 coming in. He can pick it up.
He's got about, I know he
What's
had
he got total?
56, 956. Well, if he breaks one.
He's 44, breaks one for 44, he's got it, right? But he also has the game next week at Cincinnati.
I think the Browns are only concerned about this 13 yards that they have to go to get into the end zone.
Second down and just about a foot. This could be a free down. Sipe could throw in the end zone. That's what Lynn Dawson would do. And Mike Pruitt picks up the first down. You like that on a free down, though, don't you? You like that kind of situation.
I would consider that a free down, yes, because second and real short, you have to have enough confidence in your offensive line that you can pick up a foot or less than a foot on the next down if you don't get it. So take a shot at it. Make sure that you don't get tackled behind the line of scrimmage. If you get any heat, just throw the ball out of the end zone.
And the clock still moving. 8:13 and counting. Greg Pruitt comes back in.
This is the big down, Charlie. First down inside the 10-yard line.
Goal to go. Play action. Pass is complete. Mike Pruitt does not go in.
They roll it down.
The one. Check it down and goal to go. And Sipe ran to the bench and motioned everybody over. What's he motioning
He wants
for?
the tight ends in the ball game, a short yardage situation. He wants the goal line offense in there, and that's what he's getting. Play action pass. I said first down is really important because it's difficult to run 8 yards in 3 plays. Gets the ball. The 43, Mike Pruitt, who's been very important in this drive. He's down right there. Now the ball coughs up. It's a good call once again by the official, Charlie. Before the Browns threatening to go in.
Mike Pruitt is in the end zone.
Cleo Miller.
Excuse me, Cleo Miller, I'm sorry. And for Cleo, that is his 3rd touchdown of the year. His first to the ball game. An 83-yard drive that used up a lot of time. 16 plays.
Boy, that kid is busy.
Here it is, going into the end zone. They didn't need much. Just get a standoff by that offensive line, giving the ball to number 30, Cleophas Miller. And with his momentum going forward, he goes into the end zone. That is a big, big touchdown for the Cleveland Browns.
That makes it 22-9. Cockroft will attempt the point after.
Oh, there we go.
It is good.
Well, they got a flag. It might be too much time.
All right, well, let's hold the phone. Let's hold the phone. There's a flag down. We talked about the clock. It is holding against Cleveland. Now, on that drive of 83 yards is 16 plays. They used it more than half a quarter. 7 minutes and 54 seconds on that drive. just as important as the score.
Well, I'll tell you, it hurts the offense of Minnesota because they've been...
Holding number 59.
Holding on Charlie 59. Hall.
The wingman holding. That's a no-no.
That's almost 8 minutes on that drive. Woo!
Means Minnesota's been standing on the sidelines. They're cooling off, and they know they've got to go in and score a touchdown.
Now an extra point attempt of 29 yards.
It's blocked.
It falls through.
It was touch.
When you're hot, you're hot. It was touch and go. We've got a timeout. It is 23-9. We'll be back with a kickoff in a moment.
If fire strikes your home, you should have the superior insurance protection of the Hartford's Value Right program. It can provide the full replacement value of your home and its contents. Value Right protects you from fire, theft, and inflation. To protect your home, business, auto, or life, call an independent agent who represents the Hartford for a quote. The Hartford. Let us protect your world.
America's not going to be pushed around anymore.
Dodge announces an historic breakthrough, the new Omni Miser with the highest highway mileage any American car has ever achieved. Miser squeezes out more gasoline mileage than Toyota Corona, more than Honda Accord, more than VW Rabbit, more than the World Car four-door Ford Escort, and at a lower price, only $52.99. Omni Miser at your Dodge Ram dealer.
Now Dodge fights high interest rates with 6% off all new 81 cars. Get $325 to $1,000 direct.
Peyton's longest kickoff return this year is 59 yards. He needs to bust one right now. Look at that.
Yes, sir. 7:54. Time of possession for the Cleveland Browns, plus scoring a touchdown.
Now remember, 7:16 left to go in the ballgame. This will be the first time that Minnesota's had the football in the fourth quarter. 14-yard line for Peyton. He returns it to around the 23, maybe the 24-yard line, where Bill Cowher makes the tackle.
Looked like he ran right into a wall. He was starting to fly up there, and he just came to a sudden stop.
Clock is stopped on the change of possession. 7:08 left to go. We've got a timeout on the field, so we'll be going away in just a moment. We'll be back with the Vikings on the attack.
You know, I was known for working long and hard during training camp. Why, even after my teammates were asleep, I'd still be out practicing my moves, and that's still important. So I drink light beer from Miller. Light tastes great. It's got a third less calories than a regular beer, and the best thing is it's less filling. Because listen, I still train the same way as the old days. Practice, practice, practice.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Here's another Radio Shack Christmas gift collection. 14 exciting new electronic games priced from $12.95 to $39.95. Fast action games with electronic sound effects. There's football, basketball, baseball, golf, shooting gallery, and more. Challenging entertainment for kids 6 to 60. Play alone or with a friend for hours of fascinating fun. The big electronic game assortment, available only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
It's the Bob Hope Christmas Special with Lonnie Anderson, Larry Gatlin, the AP College All-Americans, and Loretta Swit. A Christmas surprise from Ho Ho Ho.
Is this part of saving me?
Tuesday.
That's the Bob Hope Christmas Special Tuesday night. And you know, it really isn't Christmas without Bob Hope.
I couldn't get over how great he looked.
Yeah, we saw him yesterday at the San Diego game, and he really did look super. Vikings now from their own 28-yard line. I may have said 23, I mean 28. Pass complete. First down, 44-yard line. He goes to Terry LeCount. Bolton was there for the defense. Check the scoreboard.
Looky here. Could it be the first? They're leading the Jets 21-20 in the fourth quarter. Bear in mind they are 0-14.
Changes in the defensive line as Ron Cruz and Elvis Franks are in. Pass is complete. Tight end, Joe Senser. 48-yard line, gain of 4, second down 6. Dick Ambrose makes the tackle.
They got their hurry-up offense, which I think is an excellent idea. They had 2 plays called when they went and got possession of the football. They'll probably call, I would think, call 2 plays right here. If they're going to throw the ball and it's completed, then line up on the ball and get started again. If it isn't completed, the clock is stopped anyway and come back to the huddle.
Eagles leading by 7. They're already in the playoff. Kramer now has completed 30 of 40 for 298 yards and a touchdown. Second and 6. He'll scramble. He's right on the line of scrimmage. He had to run for it then. He got caught earlier in the ball game. Elvis Franks got on him. Now, in the rule book, when the quarterback is running and the quarterback slides, you can only touch him down. You really can't jump on him like you can a running back.
Well, I guess
the rule book call.
To Elvis Franks, number 94. No one got open. He was trying to bide his time, but he saw that he was beyond the line of scrimmage, and he had to get there, right there. Yeah. Whammo.
Cannot do that.
It's not very nice.
Personal foul on a defense, number 94, late hit.
Takes the ball to the 30-yard line, first down. And do you know why that rule is in the book?
Tell me why.
Because you should tell me.
I can
because you are the man that got hit.
Gentle Ben Davidson.
Ben Davidson.
I remember that.
And he nailed you, didn't he?
He tried to.
He really did try to.
And I think he did.
Sammy White, 10-yard line. Good open field tackle by Clarence Scott. The ball is inside the 8. It'll be first down and goal to go.
Well, I said I really like the composure of Tommy Kramer. He's staying back there getting some heat, but he makes an excellent throw to Sammy White. Look at here. Lofts it right over one defensive Cleveland Brown into the arms of Sammy White right there. An excellent throw. Clinton Burrell, 49, was up front. Clarence Scott, number 22, is deep, and he put it right between the 2 of them for a big completion. And they are moving. 23-yard gain.
7-yard line. First down goal to go. Pressure's on, drops it out. He gets it to Ted Brown. Brown gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Vikings are right back in it. Bill Cowher was putting the pressure on.
That was a great reception and run. It was a low throw, a tough one to catch, and he broke the tackle of Charlie Hall, the linebacker out there, and jumped into the end zone. Minnesota is right back in the ball game with 5:01 remaining in this football game.
72-yard drive, 5 plays, that's out.
That's why it was so important for Cleveland to hold that ball for almost 8 minutes and score a touchdown, because the defense of the Browns has not been able to stop Minnesota. 2 minutes, 13 seconds, that's all it took to get 6 points. Wow, what a lousy
snap, and it's blocked. Oh, boy, what a big play for the Cleveland Browns. The Vikings now trail by 8 rather than 7.
That was a terrible, terrible snap by the center. Did you see the holder had to jump up in the air, looked like a knuckleball to come up with the catch and get it down. By the time it got down, it was too late.
Is he upset?
Well, he should be.
And McDonald Oden is the man who blocked it. We have 5:01 left to go. 23-15. Cleveland leads. The margin is 8 points.
This front-wheel drive Dodge Aries K Coupe has America's highest 6-passenger mileage and lowest 6-passenger price, $58.80, with its rich custom-pleated interior. Or equip Aries the way you like. Automatic transmission, power steering, deluxe wheel covers, white walls, AM radio. Choose the ones you want or take them all for only $65.95. 4-door, $100 additional. Aries K at your Dodge Ram dealer.
Now Dodge fights high interest rates with 6% off all new 81 cars. Get $325 to $1,000 direct.
For whatever you need, take the first step. The Bell System Yellow Pages.
For the food after my baby walked down the aisle.
For the photographer who told us all to smile.
We took the very first step. For this chauffeur limousine.
And And a honeymoon, that's simply a dream. We took the very first step.
The first step puts you steps ahead, saves time, money, energy. So let your fingers do the walking.
It's the very first step. The first step.
.501 left. Onside kick possibility? Yes. No. It's just a squib kick trying to break up the rhythm. It does. Browns will just fall on it at their own 26-yard line. Coming up next on NBC Sports, the exciting second half of today's doubleheader with the Oakland Raiders battling the Denver Broncos, or the Colts taking on the Dolphins. So check your local listings, the games and time in your area, all here on NBC Sports. Better idea, just stay with us, and you'll know what the second game is when it comes on.
Number 58, Jim Langer, center. He's the one that snapped on that extra point. He's replacing Huff, who is a regular snapper, but he's out with surgery. But Jim Langer's an all-pro center.
He snapped one against you all of that.
Yeah, I remember
game
that.
That went on forever on Christmas Day, right?
I wish he'd have snapped it like that when Miami beat Kansas City many years ago.
From the 27-yard line, Mike Pruitt gets the call.
Did you notice?
30-yard line has 7, second and 3. Studwell with a tackle. I imagine they'll stay on the ground. They just want, they want that clock to move.
But did you notice that Pruitt, when he got through the hole, he had both arms around that football? Boy, what a big play that was, that extra point. 8-point difference with 4:30 remaining in this football game.
Now, you mentioned a couple of times Cleo Miller, who scored a touchdown in the ball game. One of the reasons that he carries in short yardage situations is the fact that he does not fumble. Will we see him carry in this drive because of that fact? He does not fumble.
That's right. Plus, he's an excellent blocker.
Mike Pruitt, 35-yard line. Studwell again was there. It'll be 3rd down and a couple. But the clock is moving. 3:56 and counting. And time is running out on the Minnesota Vikings in this ball game. But remember that Detroit takes on Tampa Bay at home later on today. And next week, Minnesota is at Houston, and Detroit plays the other Bay, Green Bay. And any combination of a Minnesota win in the last 2 games or a Detroit loss would put the Vikings in the playoffs as the champion of the NFC Central. A Cleveland win here today means that they are in the playoffs. They have the first down. Pruitt picks it up. That is Mike Pruitt, and the clock continues on its inexorable march.
That time, number 30, Cleo Miller, was in that ball game. He made a good block on the linebacker. Made sure the linebacker did not get any penetration, and then Pruitt made the first down. That is a big first down for the Cleveland Browns. Less than 3 minutes remaining in this football game. They have an 8-point lead. What they have to do now is hold on to the football and do not give it to the Minnesota Vikings. And I look for Sipe to keep that ball on the ground.
And the old riverboat gambler himself, Sam Ritigliano. Sipe is using all of the 30-second clock. Sam does not want to delay a game. 4 seconds on the 30-second clock. 41-yard line, gain of a couple, 2nd and 8. Mike Pruitt, he carries. Scott Studwell makes the tackle. And now the clock reads 2:23 and counting. As you can see, the 30-second clock is not started. But Cleveland will stay in the huddle except for one small fact. Vikings call a timeout, and they stop the clock. We have 2 minutes and 18 seconds left to go. The Browns lead it 23-15. If they win, they're in the playoffs. We'll be back.
All over America, do-it-yourselfers are becoming Stanley super doers. They're doing bigger things, and they're doing them better and better. They depend on Stanley tools for measuring things right, for shaping things right, for making joints fit right. Tools that work right are made by Stanley, the do-it-yourself company.
Stanley, we want to help you do things right.
For a super deal on the NFL Thermos jug and mugs, look for specially tagged Stanley tools.
On my weekly New York television show, I advise people on the best restaurants, gourmet food, and fine wine. Of course, advising about wine can be difficult, but a wine I confidently recommend is Hearty Burgundy from Ernest and Julio Gallo. A delightful wine with a most enjoyable taste. The truth is, the more you know about wine, the more you appreciate Gallo.
Hearty Burgundy from the winery of Ernest and Julio Gallo.
It is Cleveland out in front, 23-15. The margin 8 points, 2:18 left to go in the ball game. Mike Pruitt needs 28 yards to reach the 1,000-yard mark this year. Steve Dance, our NBC statistician, Ron Cadwell, and Jim Plumadahl, our two spotters today. Thank you, gentlemen. Outstanding job here in Viking territory.
Looky here.
To throw on second and 8. It's intercepted. Oh, my. Bobby Bryant has the interception, and that is his 50th interception in his 12-year career. Rucker, the intended receiver. He threw it right to him.
That was supposed to be a screen pass. The Cleo Miller out in the left side. He was covered. The outlet man is Reggie Rucker, and that's who Brian Sipe went to. But he did locate that receiver. And I am really surprised that he even bothered to put the football in the air. Cleo Miller, number 30 to the right of your screen. That's who he wanted to go to, but he was well covered by a linebacker, and he hit Bobby Bryant right in the stomach with the football.
Am I right? That is the Browns' first turnover of the ball game. Yes. Cleveland 47-yard line, first down. 2:12 left to go. The Vikings down by 8. Pass is complete to Bob Tucker, and he holds on as Judson Flint takes him right over his shoulder.
There's Brian Sipe talking to Jim Schaffner, the offensive coach of the Cleveland Browns, trying to explain why he threw that ball to Bobby Bryant.
We've got a timeout, the 2-minute warning given to both benches, and we'll be back in a moment.
When I was a kid working this old gas pump, I never thought I'd be back here telling you that Pennzoil saves gasoline. But now, that same Pennzoil that protects your engine saves you gas. Pennzoil has added gas savings to their regular multi-weight oils, and they've done it at their regular price. That way, more people can afford to save gas.
Gas-saving Pennzoil. Quality in every extra mile.
When high interest rates keep America from buying the fuel-efficient cars it needs, it's time to do something about it. Starting now, when you buy a new U.S.-built 81 Chrysler, Plymouth, or Dodge passenger car on credit, you can deduct 6% from the sticker price, including options, because we think the interest rates are 6% too high. That number will move up or down depending on a significant change in the prime interest rate. Make your best deal, then get $325 to $1,000 direct from Chrysler. We'll help you buy the car you want.
I'd like to welcome you back to our NFL 80 studios in New York. I'm Brian Gumbel. The Jets have succeeded in putting the S back in Saints. They have managed to allow the Saints to win a ball game, and this is the 15th week. The Saints winners over the New York Jets by a score of 21-20 in the snow of Shea. Here's the winning score, trailing 20-14. The give to Tony Galbraith from a yard out. He takes it in, and the Saints have victory number 1 of 1980. Let's go back to Bloomington and Charlie Jones.
And a little applause for the New Orleans Saints. Congratulations. Pass is complete. Rashad. 19-yard line for Ahmad Rashad. 18 yards on the play. Boy, the Vikings are hot. 153.
They're moving that ball right down the field. We have a Cleveland Brown player on the ground. That's number 20. That's Flint. Judson Flint down holding his leg.
Another final is New England 24 and Buffalo 2.
Run that back one more time. New Orleans did what? They beat the Jets 21-20.
I didn't get the finals. They won. And that's their first win. And we've got a timeout. And we'll be back in a moment.
Let me tell you something about blue jeans. You get in a jam up here and you got real problems. That's why I always go for the best tools, like this saw and my Levi's blue jeans. You see, tree bark will chew through most anything, but these jeans bite right back. And Levi's blue jeans got a fit that's made for work, and that's real important when the changing room's 200 feet down.
Light beer, Mr. Monaconti. And I switched to natural lights.
You switched from that other light beer?
Yeah, I think natural lights got the taste that leaves them all in the backfield.
You bet, and there's nothing artificial in this less filling beer. It's made with only natural ingredients.
The real point is taste. Besides, since I switched to natural light, I'm making a name for myself.
Hey, Nick Bonaconti! Where? I know him.
Natural light. Taste is why you'll switch.
Coming up next on NBC Sports, the exciting second half of today's doubleheader. You'll see either the Oakland-Denver game or the Miami-Baltimore game, so stay with us today. Tommy Kramer has completed 77% of his passes in this ballgame. Judson Flint was the injured player. He's been replaced by Autry Beeman. 77% for Tommy Kramer. It's not too shabby. 357 yards. And the first down at the 19. Looping it into the corner, incomplete. That's a pass that only Sammy White could catch if he was a little bit taller. But it cannot be intercepted. Stops the clock, 1:48 remaining.
Kramer just got rid of this football. He was looking to go to the right side. It's number 85. You see in your screen, that's Sammy White. He is not open. He's well covered by Clinton Burrell, number 49. So he just unloaded the football, throwing it out of bounds, stopping the clock, making sure Cleveland does not come up with it.
Second and 10 at the 19. There's the time. 1:48 left to go.
They can go to the end zone, Charlie, because they need 2 scores. So 3 points here is as good as a touchdown.
It is dropped off to Ted Brown. Brown struggles for the sideline, taking a couple of Brown players with him, including Clay Matthews, who weighs in at 230 pounds. And he stops the clock.
Here it is, Kramer going back to throw, and he's going to hit Ted Brown. 23 is back. And he really does an excellent job. He goes to the inside, and then he says, wait a minute, I'm supposed to get out of bounds. And there he is, carrying Clay Matthews out of bounds.
He does, doesn't he?
When you consider that Brown is 200 pounds, Matthews is 230.
They're in different divisions. For Kramer, that was his 35th completion of the game. That ties his personal high. Third down 3. Throws, it's there, touchdown. For Ahmad Rashad, that is his first touchdown in 10 ball games. His 4th of the year.
That is amazing that that's all that he had, but credit that offensive line with great pass protection for the quarterback Kramer. Number 58, Jim Langer, and remember, the last time that they scored a touchdown, the kick was blocked because the center, the snap was a high wobbly one, and the holder had to jump up in the air to get it down. Generally, you try to get this off in 1.4 seconds. The time that center snaps the ball until you kick it, 1.4 seconds. Another bad snap.
But it's good. And also remember that Bobby Bryant set it up, started the drive with his interception. A 47-yard drive in 5 plays. Guess how much time it took? 37 seconds.
Well, Brian Sipe's interception, it puzzles me because they had an 8-point lead. Minnesota would have to score twice. One of them would have to be a touchdown. And one thing you don't want to do, the one thing is give the ball to the opposition. If they're going to get anything, make them earn it. And to keep the ball on the ground, it would have wasted some of the time that was on the clock. And that's the big factor right now. You're going to look right now at an onside kick by the Minnesota Vikings. And if Cleveland recovers, they'll be in excellent position as far as field position is concerned. This is
Charlie Jones, Lynn Dawson. We have 1 minute and 35 seconds left to go in the game. The Vikings have pulled within one. Here is the touchdown scored just seconds ago.
And Tommy Kramer, the quarterback, has all kinds of time back there. Look at him pumping. Finally gets it to Ahmad Rashad, number 28, who's having a super day today. His first touchdown, you say, in 10 ball games.
And that is his 9th reception of the day. The reason that we have the 1-point difference is that there was a missed extra point. There have been 2 missed extra points, 1 on each side. Is that right? Yeah.
Make it 3.
3? 3
Cleveland missed 1, and Minnesota 2.
That's going to stay for the kicker. All right, Dino Hall is the D-back, but you can forget about him. Danmeier, onside kick. Has to go 10 yards before the Vikings can recover. It was first touched after it went 9 yards, so automatically the ball goes to the Cleveland Browns. Danmeier simply did not kick it hard enough.
Brian Sipe, the last time they had the football, threw it. And I'm sure he is questioning that decision right now. Of course, he isn't calling the plays. The plays are coming in from the sidelines unless, you know, it's an automatic at the line of scrimmage. I do not look for Sipe to put the football in the air right now. 1:35 remaining in this football.
The ball at the Minnesota 44-yard line. Cleveland has a first down. 1:35 left to go with Mike Pruitt and Cleo Miller, the running back.
They're blitzing. They're coming up after him with the linebacker.
Cleo Miller to the 41. He has 3. It'll be 2nd down 7. The Vikings stop the clock right here.
They had the linebackers coming. Everybody was going after it. They've got to stop Cleveland. And they did on that first down. They're going to have to stop them from making a first down. All Cleveland has to do, really, is make a first down, and the game should be over. That is providing that they don't turn over the football by a fumble or an interception.
Now, you've been in these conversations. What are they really saying? Particularly when they say, hold on to the football, don't fumble? I mean, is it that kind? Or do they talk specific plays?
They'll specific plays because that last play, Minnesota came with their linebackers. So you're going to call a play that is going to be covered, a safe play, and he's going to say, now remember to remind those backs to hold on to the football and remind that offense no penalties. We do not want to stop the clock. The clock is going to be stopped. Let Minnesota call a timeout.
And they being the Minnesota Vikings, can stop the clock one more time. They have 1 timeout remaining. Also remember this, if the Browns hold on to this 1-point victory, they are in the playoffs, but the championship has not been decided. That will be decided next week. If they defeat Cincinnati, they are the champions. If they lose next week and Houston wins their last 2, including today, last we heard Houston was leading in the ballgame, then Houston is in, and the Browns would be the wild card. Mike Pruitt, flag is down. That stops the clock. 36-yard line. Kurtnoff with the tackle, but the clock is stopped. Here's the Houston final.
All right, Houston wins it 22-3, which means it is going to go down to the last week as far as determining the championship of the AFC Central Division.
Illegal motion against the Browns. President of the Cleveland Browns, Art Modell. He should not be that worried.
Well, he wasn't a couple of minutes ago. He was smiling, but not now.
He does worry, though. He does worry. Nice man.
What did I just get through saying to the Browns? You can't turn the ball over or have a penalty because that stops the clock. 1:23. Now, they threw the left.
On the offense, the right tackle.
The right tackle is Cody Risen.
And also bear in mind, the play went way to the left. He really wasn't involved in the play, but here again, it could be that maybe because of the noise, he didn't hear the count. But if you're away from the play, if anything, be late instead of early.
2nd and 12. 1:23 left to go. Vikings still with 1 timeout remaining. Mike Pruitt, 43-yard line. He has 3. It'll be 3rd down and 9. The Vikings will take the timeout here as Tommy Hannon makes the tackle. Vikings, they're out of timeout. However, it will be 3rd and 9, so they can run a play, they being the Cleveland Browns, and say that takes 10 seconds. 5 seconds to set the clock. They can wait 30 seconds before they kick. So the Vikings will end up possibly with the football, neighbor their own 20-yard line, with about 25 to 30 seconds left to go and no timeouts. And they have to get within field goal range because they trail by 1. However, a first down changes all of that.
First down, the game is over.
Yeah. Do you throw?
No, I wouldn't throw.
3rd and 9?
No, I would take the percentages of running a play and letting that clock run down. You can even take a delay of game because punting from that area, the important thing is don't get the punt blocked.
Good point.
Punting from that area 5 yards really doesn't make that much difference. But I would keep it on the ground and punt that ball. The worst thing you do is kick it into the end zone, and now Minnesota's got to go 80 yards to get some points. No timeouts.
Let me bring up just one other factor. When they get it, after this play, if they have to punt, and they're letting the clock go, and say there's no game, say it's 4th and 9 or 10, the Vikings can go offside, 5-yard penalty, but it stops the clock. And that does not carry an automatic first down. Calvin Hill is in, and he is a receiver. 3rd and 9. They run with it. It is not there. 36-yard line. It is not a first down. Studwell makes the tackle, but it is a 4th down and less than 5, so that takes away that possibility. 1 minute and counting. Time remaining.
A lot less than 5 yards to go.
Oh, yeah.
Charlie, it looks like a yard to go or
Just
so.
Just a yard, maybe 2.
Now, what about your riverboat gambler? He may be going for it right here
I think
and
he
running
is.
with the football.
You bet.
Either that or wind that clock down. 45 seconds remaining in the ball game, 20 on the 30-second clock.
Now,
Brian Sipe is looking at the sideline. He's also looking at the clock. He may let it go down to say 1 second, call timeout. Look at him. He's locating the official.
4th down and a couple.
He's going to let 1 second go and said call timeout. 2.
That's interesting.
Give it to me. All right.
With 1 second to go, so Cleveland takes a timeout.
Now they got an opportunity to go to the sidelines and make a decision. And they ran the clock down just like they would have if they'd been back to punt or run the football.
What about a field goal attempt? 36?
No.
Plus 7? No, that'd be way up in the 50s. No, you don't want to do that. A wild finish in the ball game that we had yesterday with Seattle.
That's right.
Scoring after the game was over. And interesting, even though the Chargers won it, the margin was only 7, which becomes the 5th tiebreaker. That makes their margin, the differential, 26 points over Oakland in case you end up with identical records. Oakland, second half of the doubleheader to most of the country, they are at Denver. Now, 23 seconds left to go. The clock will be stopped on the change of possession if Cleveland does kick.
Well, they've got 2 yards to go.
Why not gamble on a
snap to the fullback?
On the snap to the fullback, and you go, and if you got the first down, the game is over.
Well, because they're not going to be returning the ball. They're going after it. They're going after it by rushing the kicker. They got 11 men up there trying to block it. That's their only hope right now.
And in addition, Dick Ambrose is the blocking back. High snap. Just a lazy floater that goes into the end zone.
All right, now what is going to happen now for Minnesota, what they have to hope for is like yesterday, Charlie, a long pass with just 14 seconds remaining, a long pass and a penalty on the Cleveland Browns, which would keep the game going. That's their only hope right now.
A penalty on the defense after time is run out extends the period. Penalty on the offense does not extend the period.
You'll watch the Cleveland Browns secondary. They will be 30 yards deep, I'm sure, saying, all right, let them catch the football. We're not going to create any penalties, and we'll tackle them with 14 seconds and no timeouts. They got 3 men on the side. That's what they're going to do.
They'll go
Kramer's
deep to the far side. second, 6 and out of bounds. They are at the 46-yard line of Cleveland. They have 5 seconds. And what about that from Bud Grant? They call him Mount Rushmore. 39 yards.
The old flea flicker pass is what it was, throwing it and lateraling it back to the trailing back, and it worked that time. Ted Brown, number 23, taking it down. They've got another shot, Charlie. Now they're going to throw that ball up in the air and hope for a miracle, either a catch or a defensive penalty.
Art Modell is worried, and you can see what. 5 seconds to go. A 20-yard pass, sideline, 15-yard pass, stops the clock with 1 second to go. Field goal would win it.
Up in the air.
Going deep.
They're hoping.
Tip, caught, touchdown. You're kidding. The Vikings, they win it. Time is run out. Minnesota, they are the champions. Ahmad Rashad. Everybody in the booth is saying they win the title. I've already told you, they win the title. For the 11th time, Bud Grant wins the Central Division.
I said a miracle, and that's what they got that time. 3 receivers on the same side. Kramer just threw that ball as long and as far, as high as he possibly could. And the man who's been doing it all day long, Ahmad Rashad. Second touchdown. This one wins it for the Minnesota Vikings and wins the Central Division.
Absolute bedlam. Kramer throws for a total of 456 yards. Now we still have the extra point. It is academic. The officials have put the ball at the 2-yard line. I think the Browns have, almost all of them have gone in. Ahmad Rashad. Unbelievable.
What was that, his 10th or 11th reception for the ball game?
We'll give you Rashad's individual total.
Here it is. This is a miracle play right here. Kramer going back. He has 3 receivers on the same side. It's high. It's far. It's going to be knocked around down there. Here, right here. Cleveland Browns grabs it. Rashad with one arm grabs it. Oh, it goes in. Number 28, Ron Bolt, the defensive back of Cleveland, was also there.
9 receptions, 142 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Good blocking by the offensive line of Minnesota. Up and deep. There they are, about 7 people around there. First shot, I think, was by Tom Dart. Number 27 had a shot at the ball. Pops up in the air, and this man, Ahmad Rashad, came up with the touchdown. I think we're a lot more excited about it than he is, Charlie. He's just walking around like another day at the beach.
Oh, boy. Cleveland now has 11 men back out. That's all. Everybody else is in the locker room. This is the extra point attempt. It is blocked. It is blocked by Henry Bradley. It really doesn't make any difference.
Let's go back to an interception by Bobby Bryant with a little over 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Cleveland leading by 8 points. Sipe threw the ball. It was intercepted, and I'm sure he's going to have nightmares about that situation because he threw it right in the stomach of Bobby Bryant. The big turnover. Minnesota went in to score a touchdown by Rashad. And now the miracle play. Rashad grabbing it one-handed with no timeouts remaining in the football game.
They are the champions in the playoffs. You've got the statistics on...